What is good? What is good, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great evening so far. Welcome to a F.I.R.M podcast. Random late nights. F.I.R.M is what we do. Fellowship in the Righteous Man is what it stands for. Tonight's topic of conversation, you guys, is gonna be a good one, y'all. It's gonna be a good one because most people will tell you that the importance of communication. You see it when you have conversations with people you dating, people that you are in a serious relationship with, spouses, family members, friends, coworkers, the whole like. So you always hear, man, like, hey, I love communication. Communication is so important to me. It is so important to me that we're able to talk. So important to me that we're able to understand one another, right? But the question really becomes, it's one thing to say, oh, that's important to me. But it's another thing to ask, do you value the communication? What's important and what's valued? So that's kind of that's a little teaser of what we're going to be talking about tonight. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Let me know how your day was in your neck of the woods. I didn't mean to rhyme that, but I got a little bit of skills. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully everybody is doing well. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Listen, y'all, I don't like to waste time, and I don't want to waste y'all's time. So, I want to thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with us here at the F.I.R.M podcast, random late nights F.I.R.M, where tonight's topic of conversation is going to be relationships and communication.
What up, world? It's the F.I.R.M.
Let's get it. Welcome to the F.I.R.M.
Oh, it's about to go down.
Set your schedule for 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Saturday nights live for a time that's one of a kind.
Woo-wee. There's nothing off the table, no trolling. We go from politics to religion to relationships to whether or not you like crunchy or soft tacos.
Woo! Forget about a love language. What about your love level?
Oh man, we excited for this one.
On all social media platforms.
So make sure you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Fellowship in a Righteous Man. That's the best.
With your hosts, Flavius and Ulysses. We roll at
6 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time. What's good? What is good? What is good? It might be lagging a little bit. Thank you for my Wi-Fi and these walls I have here that might be blocking the Wi-Fi signals, but we'll get that taken care of. We'll get that situated and no problem, no issues. But how are you guys doing tonight? Hopefully y'all doing well. I know the F.I.R.M has been the scheduling has been a little weird as of late, but first and foremost, I wanted to give a big shout out to my boy, my homie Flavius Tyler, on his podcast that he did late last night, or close to midnight, I'm assuming. So man, but like I said, man, he did an amazing job last night, man. He dropped some jewels. He dropped some jewels, you guys. Let me tell y'all. One of the things that I texted him earlier when I was watching it was like, Flavius said something, man, that was like good stuff. Yeah, but he said many things, but for the sake of the show, because we could just do a whole show on the nuggets that he dropped yesterday. But one of the main things that he said yesterday was, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember exactly what it was, but he said, hey, there are those who will accept answers, any answer. They're looking for an answer, they will accept any answer. And then you have those who will accept the truth. And y'all, that was that is like a something to really ponder about, something to really think about when it comes to the specific topic of relationships and communication, right? Because we all want the truth. We all want our partner to be honest. We all want our parents to be honest. We want our children to be honest. We want our spouse to be honest. We want honesty, y'all. We want honesty. And so some of us are so desperate for honesty that we will accept any answer rather than accept the truth. That's what I got out of it, man. It was again a powerful, powerful statement. If y'all haven't, go to yesterday's podcast, last night's podcast, where Flavors dropped some deep stuff, man. And Flavors talking about his experiences, what he's dealing, what he's going through, and basically what God has been showing him. So shout out to my boy Flavors out there, who's working hard, working diligently for his family and for the company that he works for. So they have a lot of trust in him, and God has given him favor with those that he is working for, and that's working under him. But tonight's conversation, relationships and communication. Again, like the caption states, we love to say. We love to say it. We need a relationship. Good communication. It's key to the foundation. It's the foundation of a relationship. Being able to talk about stuff, being able to articulate what it is you're trying to say, being able to avoid arguments altogether if possible, for the sake of good communication. And yet, when you are in a relationship and you get into an argument, do I still think it's important, or do I value the communication? Because communication goes both ways, right? In order to communicate properly, communication has nothing to do with just me talking. Well, I need you to listen to me, right? We hear it in conversations, whether it's relationships, whether it's parents. Like, you need to listen. Why are you not listening to me? And I'm going to say what I got to say. And then somebody's coming back at me. Well, how come you're not listening to me? I'm trying to get you to understand what I'm trying to say. And we spend so much energy trying to get our own point across, because communication is important. It's important when I'm talking. It's important when I'm trying to convey something. But communication is not just talking. Communication is, what are you listening? What are you hearing? Are you hearing what's the popular thing that people always say? Are you hearing to respond, or are you hearing to just listen to where they're coming from? Communication goes both ways, y'all. You can't have one without the other. The idea that people say communication is important, communication is important. What you find out at the end of it all, it's important because I have something to say. It's not important for me to listen, but it's important that you listen to me and communicate. And so that's the difference between and finding communication important and actually valuing the communication. Are you listening or are you hearing to respond? And one of the hardest things, y'all, about communication is listening to what the person's actually saying, to listening to their heart, where they're coming from, where they are coming from, y'all. Where are they? Why are they saying the things that are saying? Why are they reacting the way that they're reacting? And one of the key elements of being able to listen versus hearing to respond, one of the things that I learned is being able to understand where the other person is actually coming from. Because what is the one thing that we can all agree on? One of the one things that we can always agree on is that people are a product of their environment. People are a product of their environment. They react certain ways, they say certain things, they respond differently than you because of what they have experienced in life. Their last relationship taught them how to close up. The last three relationships has caused them to let me not tell people how I really feel because the last relationship taught them, hey, so and so was so controlling, and I'm not gonna let nobody control me. So they are talking to you, they are communicating to you based off of experiences. And a common mistake that people make is saying, because I think this way, how come you can't think this way? And when I'm trying to explain to you what this way is, why are you not getting it? Why are you not understanding where I'm coming from? This should be common sense. This should be a no-brainer. And so the communication is already started in a bad foot because it's like, why are you not getting me? Why are you not understanding where I'm coming from? And it seems like no matter how hard you try to get somebody to understand where you're coming from, it is so hard for them to understand because what they don't understand is the why you think the way you think, why you behave that way. You see it all the time when you're dealing with somebody, and as they say, man, I got baggage. I got baggage. And if you can't handle my baggage, then I'm just going to find somebody else who would. Well, what do you got in that baggage? Well, I don't think you would understand. Huh? We see it a whole lot because without understanding, you're going to leave room for miscommunication. And here's a big one: without understanding, you're going to leave room for misinterpretation. Should I say that one more again? Without understanding, you will leave room for misinterpretation. Because where I'm coming from, you have no idea. Because communication is not only just talking your problems, but communication is listening to us to what's being said, but it's also understanding where you're coming from. Taking the time, being patient, big one, right? Being patient to understand. Oh, that's why you think what you think. So the baggage that we carry into a relationship is off on is based on my wanting to but not knowing how to heal from behaviors that we have grown accustomed to. I've said several times, Flavors and I have talked about it in different relationship and different relationship episodes. And here is the truth about life in general, right? Is you could be in a relationship for so long that what is not considered healthy to the counseling world, right, becomes healthy. It looks healthy to you because this is how you have lived your life. You've lived a life of disappointment. You lived a life where they're screaming and arguing. You lived a life where either you or your partner is not patient with you. You lived a life where you've been in an abusive relationship. You've been in certain situations for so long that it has become a normal way of life. This is what you're used to. So what you're used to becomes your normal. Correct me if I'm wrong. But what you're used to is now has become your normal. And if somebody that you are with is not willing to be patient, is not willing to listen to not just to you what you're saying, but the roots of why you're saying what you're saying, then that relationship will have a hard time working out. Just gonna be honest. It's gonna have a hard time working out because you are so we are so inundated with what is wrong with the situation that we never see why of the situation. The why is going to help determine the what. Once we understand why, what can we do about this? Once we determine the why, what other direction can we go? That's going to help with the relationship. Because communication is important, y'all. But communication is listening to the heart, not just to what they're saying. Listening to their heart. What do I mean by that? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked, and I'm glad you wanted to know. When we talk about listening to the heart, we are having now to be intentional about what is it that I'm listening to? What am I listening to when it comes to the matters of the heart? Because if I react to what somebody is saying in a way that they don't want me to react, then the response is going to be what? You're not listening. You're not listening to me. You're not listening to my feelings. You're not listening. And basically what they're saying is you're not listening to my hurt. You're not listening to what I've been trying to escape from. Like, I don't want you to do this because this is where it takes me. And so if I'm looking at it like, I hear you. Mm, mm-hmm. But in my head this whole time, I'm like, this is this is minimal. This is small. This is nah, nah, he tripping, nah, she tripping, nah, I'm no longer listening to the heart. I'm no longer addressing the why. I'm just addressing my thoughts, my reflection, what I feel like should be the answer, what I feel like should be what's going on. Communication. Listening to the heart is going to take patience, y'all, and it's also going to take humility. If you want to be patient, humble yourself. We're going to have to humble ourselves and actually intentionally pay attention. Because my relationship, especially if it's a serious one, then I need to address it seriously. I need to be able to listen to my spouse, listen to my partner, and be like, hey, I want to hear your heart. We don't, you don't want me yelling? Okay, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on that. I want to hear your heart. I want to hear why. Tell me, and people, when you actually listen to their heart without them even knowing, they will tell you the why. And if you're discerning enough, you'll be able to catch that why. Some of it is stemmed from fear. Oh, I got you. So you're saying this because you don't want a repeat of what happened last time. You was in a bad relationship. I get it. So now you're trying to set ground rules and you're trying to, it's coming across as controlling. It's coming across as, they don't, you tell me what, don't, you ain't gonna tell me what to do. It comes across as being mad aggressive. Like, hold on, don't talk, don't do that. Don't do that. What am I doing? What am I doing? How many times have we heard that? Don't do that. Do what? What am I doing right now? I don't know what you're talking about. Because we're so busy listening to our, we're so busy listening to our own experiences that we don't take time to listen to the heart. Oh, that was a good one. I think I'm gonna write that one down. We're so busy listening to our own experiences that we won't take time to listen to the heart. And so, what happens when you listen to the heart? You humble yourself, You put your thoughts, you put your emotions to the side, you put how you feel down just for a minute. Because you can always get back to you and how you feel and why you do what you do. But listening intently with intentionality, listening to the heart versus listening to your experiences is going to help you tremendously because your experiences could be, I'm sure everybody got some experiences. What's going on, Miss Kim? How you doing tonight? Thank you so much for joining. All of us got experiences, and our experiences have shaped our mindset as far as what a relationship is going to look like. What I do know is I'm not going to have a man that's going to cheat on me. I'm not going to have a woman that's going to cheat on me. They going to respect me. They going to respect me. So all of our stuff that we're dealing with is all is the experiences that I'm dealing with, my experiences that I'm looking at has shaped how I walk into a relationship. It has shaped how where my walls are up. I have created these boundaries already because I've been hurt too many times. I've been cut across too many times. I've been lied to too many times. And then the other person coming into the relationship, they're all saying the same thing. I've been hurt too many times. I've been lied to too many times. I don't like what's happening too many times. So we're all basing it off of in my experience of what this is going to look like. And so every time that I talk to you, I'm talking to you off of my experiences. And I just want to be understood. I want my heart to be heard. I don't need you to judge me. I just want to be heard. I want to be understood. And a healthy communication will provide that avenue. Yeah, you're going to have to teach somebody how to treat you for sure. And if they are not willing to adjust, not to what you're saying, not to just what you're feeling, because your feelings can change from time to time. What you're saying can change from time to time. Because I've been in situations where I'm like, I'm not doing that no more. Mm-mm, I can't. I can't. But then 2 days later, I done changed my mind about that thing. Right? I can't tell you how many times I told myself I was gonna stop drinking Dr. Pepper because I felt it at that moment. I'm not drinking Dr. Pepper. I'm done. I know the benefits and I know what not the benefits are, and I'm the benefits that the bad is completely outweighing the good. But here I am back in this toxic relationship with Dr. Pepper. Not lately though. Just want to throw that out there. I've been actually been pretty good, but the analogy is true to the same. What I say may change, how I feel may change. But you know what's not going to change? What is in the heart if it's not being dealt with properly. If it's not being dealt with properly, I'm going to take my experiences to every other relationship that I go to. If this one don't work out, I'm taking my experiences to the next one. And then we find ourselves constantly blaming the other person for it not working out. Because my communication with the last one is going to be the same thing as it was with the last one before that. And it's going to be the same thing with the one before that right now. After that, excuse me. Because I'm talking to you from my experience. And I'm not properly communicating what I'm going through. I'm not properly communicating what I need. And if the other person is not mature enough, everybody's gonna find themselves in that cycle of relationship and communication because I'm not valuing the communication. I find it important. I find it important because I need you to hear me. I need you to hear me. But I'm not valuing the communication. I'm not valuing me hearing you. And that's a very dangerous road. That's a very dangerous cycle. Because we all want to be understood, y'all. We want to be understood. But are you speaking from the heart or are you speaking from experience? One of the things that I'm learning, that I've learned and I'm learning is the value of communication. We all know, I don't think anybody goes into any relationship like, man, I can't wait to yell at you. I find it so attractive the way that you just scream at the top of your voice. I just love how you just can't control yourself and throwing socks across the room. Nobody goes into a relationship thinking that way. No, on the contrary, everybody and their mama is like, can we avoid yelling? Can we avoid the screaming? Can we avoid anger? We're human. Emotions are going to be involved. People are going to say some stuff that they don't mean. And if we're not careful, all saying stuff that we don't mean, doing things that we don't really mean seems normal in past relationships. It seems normal, but in the true aspect of stuff, it's not healthy. Me yelling in my past relationships, me screaming because you're not understanding me. To me, that could very well be normal because of everything I've experienced. But is it normal? Is it healthy? Is there another way to get my point across? Is there another way that I can communicate my heart to you? And the person that you're talking to, can they slow down and say, I want to hear your heart? help me to understand where you're coming from. Why do you act this way? Now we know it takes two. It takes two to be able to communicate properly and to listen properly. And if you two are truly in love, if you truly want things to work out, then yes, you both will make the necessary adjustments. You both will make the necessary adjustments to do what is needed for the one that you love. I heard somebody say the other day, you can have a couple that are sitting right next to each other, yelling, screaming at each other. And he's like, why is that? Because they're right there. Why do they have to scream if they're right there? He's like, they scream at each other the way they do because even though they are close, their heart is far apart. Their heart is far apart from the relationship. Because all I want to do is for you to listen to me, for you to know where I'm coming from, and for you to understand what you did to hurt me. And the other person's doing the exact same thing. And how many times have we seen that, y'all? I remember in counseling sessions, we used to tell people, hey, hold up. Let's give you a shovel. Let's give you a shovel. Because right now y'all just digging each other's grave. Just digging up the past. Well, you did this. And the reason why I did that is because you did this. And you just digging a hole. Next thing you know, without y'all even noticing, you're gonna dig a hole so deep that both of y'all can't get out of. And y'all are so desperate to get out of this hole, but y'all just keep digging this grave. When is that cycle gonna stop? Who's gonna be the bigger person to stop that? Communication. Hearing the heart. What is the heart saying? My heart is only a reflection of my desperate cry in a relationship. I want to change, but I'm scared to change because I don't want to be used. I want to give you my best, but I'm scared if I do so, you're gonna take me for granted. I want to be able to give you what you say that you need, but if I do that, what are you gonna do for me? Because the last time that I gave people what they needed, they did not return it back. They did not reciprocate. And that scares me. Communication. My heart wants to so badly change into a better person, but I'm scared if I do this. One of my biggest fears in a relationship is vulnerability. That's man's, any man, for the most part, will tell you vulnerability, man. Like if I become vulnerable with you and you disrespect that, any man will tell you that. But that's a fear for a woman to be so vulnerable, but yet a man will take it and throw it back in her face, or a woman will take it and throw it back in his face. because one is communicating their fear, the other one is just listening to respond. They're not listening to the heart. Can you listen to the heart? Can you value the communication? The truth is, I don't have to yell. The truth is, I don't have to raise my voice. The truth is that you don't have to do X, Y, and Z. That's just the honest God truth. But it's going to take humility to make that happen. It's going to take patience to create that space, to be able to give grace when it's needed. But it takes two. It takes two to be able to value the communication. And I know that in order to do so, somebody's going to have to step out and be like, I'll volunteer to listen to you first. I'll volunteer to listen to your heart. I want to know the why to what you're doing. I want you to explain to me what happened to you in these past relations. This is a hard conversation. This might be a long conversation, but it needs to happen. Why are you acting this? Why do you believe to what you believe? Why does your mind go to this when that happens? Be patient while you listen. Humble yourself while you listen, even if it's about you. I remember in my previous marriage, it's like the spouse she's talking to me, telling me everything that I'm doing wrong or whatever the case is, and I'm like, because I'm like, it's hard to listen to you, or it's hard to stay quiet when it's like, no, that's not what happened. No, whatever the case is. It's like, how can I just sit there and just listen when I'm the one that's being blamed? Nobody said it was going to be easy. Nobody. Relationship is work. Relationship is owning up, owning up to your mistakes, owning up to what it is that you've done, and listening to what your spouse or your partner is saying. Hey, this is what you did, and this is how I took it. Listening to the heart. Okay, why did you take it that way? When I said it, why was that the first thing that came to your mind? And being able to talk about it, being able to listen can go a long way to a healthy communication. It goes a long way in being able to sift through the experiences to be able to find the root of what's really happening. So there are so many walls, visible and invisible, that we don't see. You know, the idea of, man, I had to put my wall. You broke through my walls. That's the initial wall of trust. The initial wall of, okay, you're really not crazy, or you're not really not that crazy anyway. You're really not that crazy. But then there are other walls that need to be broken down. The ones that are deep rooted, the ones that are that where that healing has never took place. I spent about a good year and a half not being in a relationship. Yeah, I dated a few people here and there, whatever the case is, but to in a full blown serious relationship, it took me about a year and a half to even dive into something like that. And because and that's not even like because I chose to really, but because God was telling me, be patient, be patient, be patient, be intentional about taking your time. And sometimes I was like, do I do I jump now? Do I jump now? How about now? How about now? But the one thing that I knew while God was dealing with me in certain issues, I knew that there were certain things that will not surface, that will not surface until you are back in a relationship. There are certain things that you just don't have to deal with on your healing journey, but you will when you're back in a relationship. But that time, that season that you are in, where God has you, that God had you in solitude, at least for me, was a time that God was dealing with certain surface issues, certain things that I had to control, certain things that I had to get better at, certain things that I had to improve on, so that when I jump into a relationship, not saying that I'm not going to be perfect, but I catch it, I see it, and I adjust to it. Things that I can adjust to now I could not have adjusted it 2 years ago. The patience that I had to work that I worked on then, the patience that I have now, I wouldn't have had 2 years ago. We don't know what God is doing, but again, what I do know is that there are certain things that you will never have to touch or deal with until you're back in that same environment. When that certain fears pop up, when you're feeling unstable in a relationship, certain things are going to pop up and be like, do I believe my experience or do I trust God? Because here's the thing, and I'm closing with this. God, He hears you talk. And he hears you talking about your experiences, what you've been dealing with, what you're going through, why this, why they doing that, how come nobody loves me, how come nobody's paying, like when am I going to be paid attention to, or whatever the case is. And God's like, yo, I've been listening to you this whole time, but I have not listened to your experience. I've listened to your heart, and I want to heal that heart. I want to be able to touch that heart, work on the things that need to be worked on, so you can be a better version of yourself. Because you can't love your spouse or your partner properly without first learning how to love you, without first allowing God to love you and to heal what needs to be touched, to heal and mend what's been cut, bruised, broken. Only God can do that. So, my hope is that you take time out to ask God, hey, even if you don't fully believe in Him, even if you don't fully believe in this church stuff, God stuff, you tried everything else. You tried everything else. Why not give it a shot? Why not asking Him to reveal asking Him to touch what's been broken, what's been hurt? Why not? I can tell you He's been doing wonders in my life. things that I've been growing from, things that I've had to really come to an understanding that everything that I'm doing, going through, is all because I want to better myself. And I want to value communication the way God does. I want to be able to hear the heart of those who are speaking to me and not just their experiences. Because we all need healing. And my hope and prayer is that you can find someone that you can heal with. My hope and prayer for you, the listener, is that you can find somebody that you can heal with. So listen, y'all. My time is up. But again, just a quick rundown. Communication. It's one thing to say communication is important. Communication is important, yes. But do you value the communication? Losing weight to me is important, but do I value my health? Do I value communication? Am I willing not just to talk, but am I willing to listen? To not just what you're saying, to not just your experiences, but to your heart. What is your heart telling me? That's what I want to know. Because once I know what your heart is telling me, then I'm able to help to navigate, hey, what can we do next? What can we talk about? And that's the importance of valuing communication. So listen, y'all, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys so much for joining in to this random late nights F.I.R.M, where sometime throughout the week, you know, I'm going ahead and give mine's up. Mine's gonna be Thursday nights. I'm gonna be here Thursday nights, man. Every single Thursday night, we're gonna be talking about relationships. We're gonna talk about real life stuff. We're gonna be talking about stuff that's gonna be hot off the chest. We're gonna discuss it. We're gonna have great conversation, and we're gonna bless each other because of it. Because at the end of the day, we all need to grow. We all need to grow. We all got areas that we can improve on. And if communication has been a struggle for you because all you're doing is just wanting to talk, but not actually wanting to listen, I hope you start putting into practice these things. Take time to listen to the other person's heart. Sift through their experiences into what really, really matters. And I promise you, that will change. It will change the course. It will change the dynamic of the conversation. So listen, y'all. Y'all be safe. Love you guys. And thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Random Late Night F.I.R.M podcast.
What up, world? It's the F.I.R.M.
Let's get it. Welcome to the F.I.R.M.
Oh, it's about to go down.
Set your schedule for 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Saturday nights live for a time that's one of a kind.
Woo-wee. There's nothing off the table, no trolling. We go from politics to religion to relationships to whether or not you like crunchy or soft taco.
Woo! Forget about a love language. What about your love level?
Oh man, we excited for this one.
On all social media platforms.
So make sure you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Fellowship in a righteous manner. That's the best.
With your hosts, Flavius and Ulysses. We rolling.
6 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.